separated branding from the demand generation, you can separate your community from your revenue while still allowing them to be an integrated part of your holistic customer engagement strategy and tracking success. Hello everyone, I am Muskan, Event Management Intern at InnovaWorld Private Limited. Today I will be your host. Good evening, esteemed guests, interns, and colleagues. Firstly, I'm heartily thankful to Ms. Liz Lathan, who was the guest speaker of the day to accept my invitation and participate in this webinar. And we are thrilled to host this event in the collaboration with two innovative companies, InnovaWorld Private Limited and the Skyfi Tech Private Limited. Skyfi app pioneers aeroscape and the aviation and the defense education with impressive AR and the simulations. Explore aircraft, drones, satellites, and airships through the interactive models and the revolutionary learning with engaging experience and prepare for future careers where learning takes off the play and learn everywhere anytime. I am delighted to thank and extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you to today's special event. It is with a great pleasure that we have together and welcome to our esteemed guest, Miss Liz Lathan. Liz, ma'am, we are truly honored to have you with us today. Your willingness to share your time and expertise with our community despite your busy schedule is deeply appreciated. Your presence here signifies not only commitment to education and knowledge sharing, but also to dedication to you, the fostering growth and innovation in the field. And I have to extend warm welcome to all the AICT interns and our lovely viewers who have joined us on this platform to learn about marketing principles for event professionals. I'm heartily welcome to our young founder of the Innova World, Engineer Aishwarya Dara, Chief Technological Officer, Engineer P.K. Dara, who was a former scientist in the Department of Atomic Energy. Your vision and leadership are paved the way to the success. And I want to extend welcome for the heartfelt to the Dr. Arunava Majumdar, our esteemed research head, who serves as the backbone of our research division. Your division and expertise are the instrumental in shaping our innovative pursuits. I am truly honored to welcome our chief guest, CMP Liz Lathan, who was the co-founder of the Community Factory. She is also the founder of Experimental Agency and the part of the ownership team at the sport and the music. Interestingly, she is the well-known writer, investor, speaker, and the frequent traveler. She is always trying to make sure that attendees are getting connected and they're doing business together and make event more engaging for attendings. Once again, I welcome each and everyone to you. Once again, welcome to ma'am, and I request to you address the gathering and let's make the today's session one to remember. Over to ma'am.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and I really appreciate the invitation. Yes, I am a frequent traveler, but I have not visited you in India. So you have to give me all the tips and tricks, where to go and what to see. I'm very excited. So meanwhile, I'm just thrilled to
Definitely,
be here.
definitely. And thank you so much, ma'am.
So would you like me to jump right into the presentation?
Exactly, ma'am. Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and you tell me if you're seeing it in full slide mode. Does it look
Yes, ma'am.
good?
Yeah,
Fantastic. When I do this, unfortunately, I cannot see the chat. So if there are any questions, if
no
you wouldn't mind
problem.
just calling them out to me, that would be great.
Sure.
Amazing. Thank you again for having me. So I was invited here to talk a little bit about marketing for events. And the angle that I'm taking today is understanding what we call full funnel marketing and how it applies to events. So my background is leading event teams at Fortune 500 companies like Dell and IBM. I've produced events and conferences from 10 people to 40,000 people, and of course run an event portfolio that has ranged from lead generating smaller programs to larger ones, tabletops, to giant experiential activations, to entire conferences for companies. But around that, it's developing the full funnel event strategy that is marketing, communications, and activation. And so that's really what I want to bring through to you today. As I led global teams at these companies, my team started out as event managers, just managing the logistics of the programs. And we evolved the teams to become part of the marketing organization and really be strategic providers of marketing programs that drive what's most important to business, which is pipeline and revenue. Today, I am co-founder of the Community Factory. So I do a little bit less event logistics and I focus more on attendee and audience engagement and focusing on what happens inside the event rather than the strategy and the event around it. However, I still often give classes on these event strategy topics. So that's what I'm here to do today. I would love to know from you what kind of events you're drawn to, what you go to, what you love about events that you've participated in. And if you're looking at an event career, I'd love to know what you want out of that. Or do you like the creative side? Do you like the project management side? Are you hoping to launch your own event and get super rich? I would love to know all of these things. If you would just drop them in the chat, that would be magical for me.
Yes, ma'am. I think all of them above.
Exactly.
Of course, these also.
So event marketing is really a multidisciplinary, I like to call it project, career. It's all of these things. It's all of these bits and pieces that make up everything. A lot of people think that events is really just organizing the program. But when you look at it from a strategic standpoint, it's everything from demand gen, performance marketing, defining your cohort, data integration, marketing automation, account-based marketing, understanding MQLs, SQLs, all of the marketing terminology and sales terminology to bring somebody in as a prospect, move them through the funnel, and have them leave as a happy buyer who will advocate for your company. So we have a lot of responsibility on the event marketing side of the house. Modern marketing is how I like to describe the way that I approach the event marketing we're going to talk about today. Traditional marketing focuses on selling the products produced by the company. It's a very push way of getting your products to market. You really make the product the hero, that's the terminology we use, and you focus on what that product is. But modern marketing takes a more customer satisfaction point of view, and it brings the customer into your marketing funnel and into the product. It's called a pull way of marketing. So what we want to do with a modern marketing bend is really create the needs of the customer as they go through, hit the needs of the customer as they go through the funnel. So that's what we're going to talk through today, is what the buyer's journey funnel looks like, separate from a marketing funnel where you would just push information at people. But how does this relate to events? Because that's on the marketing side. So from an event side, it's important to us because we want to take people on this journey, not just in a broader marketing sense, but also at our individual events. So the traditional funnel is awareness, interest, consideration, purchase. We want to make sure that our customers are aware of the solutions that we offer to them. We want to make sure our customers are interested in us over our competitors. We want to make sure our customers are considering us against our competitors, and then we want them to buy from us. The modern marketing piece of this is that there is now an entire world after the purchase. We are now trying to identify who has purchased our product, expand our reach within them, perhaps selling them more things and upselling them, engage them and get them to engage with us on social media and at events, and then advocate for us by saying great things about us and getting their friends to purchase from us. The way that we look at it from a buyer's journey perspective is how we are putting the content out that's going to bring them in. And so that funnel is discover, learn, try, buy. Discover is the phase of the process that our prospects are in. They have just discovered that they have a problem, or they don't even know that they have a problem, and we're putting marketing out there that is making them problem aware. So they recognize now, oh, I didn't even know that was an issue, but now that there's a solution for it, I'd like to learn more. That moves them into the learn section of our funnel, which is them trying to find out more information. They want to learn about us. They want to learn about the solutions that exist in the market. They want to learn pricing. They're trying to get all the information they possibly can. Now we move into the try part. If you're a SaaS platform, you may have a 7-day free trial. You may have, if you're a consumer packaged goods company, you may give samples for people to try. So the way people can try your product is going to bring them in a little bit closer to the buying opportunity. If you get them to the buy phase, now you've really got an entire new world opening up to you. But what we're focusing on today is discover, learn, try, and buy. I want to take you through the basic definitions around marketing that are important to us on the event side. Demand generation and lead generation are often confused with each other, but they are distinct disciplines. Demand generation is any awareness activity that creates a desire or demand in your target market. So if you're creating an event that is labeled a demand gen event, that means that you are trying to create awareness of your product, solution, or existence as a company and interest people in what you have. It is not necessarily scanning their badge or collecting their contact information. It's just making people problem aware, solution aware, and company aware for you. But then if you are in charge of demand generation, your metrics are the lead generation portion. So a lead is any contact information that your prospect is willing to give you. So lead generation is any activity that captures the contact information. If you've ever gone online and downloaded a white paper and put in your email address, you know that you are now a lead for that company. If you go to an event, just registering for the event with your email address has made you a lead for that company. If you're on site at a trade show and they scan your badge, you're now a lead for that company. So from a marketing standpoint, the way that we try to attract those leads is to create a campaign. So a campaign is the specific defined set of activities that you can use to market your product, solution, or even your event, which we'll talk about in a minute, but it's designed to capture leads. An awareness campaign is not designed to capture leads, but it's designed for that discover phase to help people discover that you exist. Once you get into learn and try, now you're getting into the demand gen lead capture part of your campaign where you want to put out content or opportunities for people to exchange value, which is their contact information, for value, which is the information that you're putting out there. Now, the way that we're going to talk about events today, I want to define for you so you know my terminology. What we call a proprietary...
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. Slide is not working.
Okay, I'll start over for you. Let's try this. How's that? Are we back?
So,
Yeah,
ma'am, I think, ma'am, you have to share the other one. The presentation mode is not shared. The other one is being shared.
Let's try. Let's try this. How about that?
Yes. Done.
Working? Excellent.
Perfect.
Were you able to see this one before? Demand gen, lead gen, and campaign? And now can you see proprietary, third party, and ancillary?
Yes, ma'am. Right.
Perfect. Okay, so my definitions around events. A proprietary event is sometimes called a branded event. This is an event that's put on by your company, and it is for your company. So it's your company's annual conference. It's your own field event, your own road show, your own hospitality event. This is your proprietary event. A third-party event, also called an industry event, is put on by another entity. It could be another company, an industry association, or a community, and you are participating in their event, whether you're sponsoring, putting a booth, speaking at it, or even throwing some other event at theirs, which is my third one called an ancillary event. Or we call it a third-party attach event, which means it's a third-party program that's not yours, but you've attached your own proprietary event to it. So if you go to an industry event and you have a booth and you're speaking, but then you're doing your own dinner for customers, that's your ancillary event associated with the third-party event. So just so we have some clarity on those. Okay, so definitions again. I want to talk about cohorts, sometimes called segments. So what we're trying to accomplish in our marketing world with our product is to understand exactly who we are selling to. For example, if you just have a generic product that you can sell to everyone, like laundry detergent, you can absolutely know that everybody needs to wash clothes and you can sell everybody laundry detergent. But if you are trying to do marketing to everybody in the world for laundry detergent, it's going to be difficult to rise above the noise of all the other laundry detergents out there. However, if you know that you are looking for football moms whose children have a whole lot of grass stains all over their clothing, you can really target your marketing to get to those football moms, and they will think of your laundry detergent as the one for football moms. So that's really what we want to focus on, is how do we segment our cohorts? How do we segment our target market for our solutions and products? You can target them in different ways, by interest. So the one I just mentioned would be for football moms. They are very interested. You can do it by age range. Maybe these moms are between 25 and 35 years old. By job title, working mothers. By household income, or by time-bound activities, things that they're trying to accomplish within a short period of time. So here's that perfect buyer I was just talking about. And we call this your persona or your avatar, or the new term is an ICP, which is your ideal customer profile. And what you want to do when you're building out your marketing plan is come up with a few of these perfect buyers, because you're going to build your campaigns around these perfect buyers that you want to market to. So let's say that this perfect buyer is a working mom with a professional college degree. She is in her mid-30s. She's looking to advance her career. She's trying to balance work and life. So if I'm trying to focus on selling her laundry detergent, I know she's strapped for time. I know that she's got the money to spend on a premium product, and I know that she is a parent, so I can truly target my message to her. So this is the purpose of creating this persona. Now, if we take that into an event world and we're putting a trade show booth at a trade show, let's say we're at CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. There are hundreds of thousands of people at CES. So we want to narrow down who we want to come to our booth and who is right for our product. That's important when building your marketing plan. The new way of identifying your persona and your perfect buyer is actually less about demographics and more about values. Are we looking to market to someone who is trying to find a community to belong to? Are we looking for someone who values their family? Are we looking for people who value making money? If we have a product that is for entrepreneurs to help them scale their business, then their value is growing and scaling their business and making a lot of money. So we can target them with that message. And it doesn't matter if they're 25 years old or 55 years old. What matters is what they value. So determining the way that you're going to market is really important in defining what your campaign messages are going to be. Now, I mentioned the term full funnel marketing. So on the left-hand side, far left, you can see awareness, consideration, purchase, and retention. Again, this is the original marketing funnel of how people are moving through the funnel to buy something. We are focusing on discover, learn, try, buy, and I've now added advocate. Once somebody purchases something, we want them to tell the world that they love us. So full funnel marketing means creating content that aligns with every single step in this buyer's journey. And of course, with digital marketing, we know everything about everyone at all times. So we know exactly where they are in the funnel. If they're on Google and they are searching for a product, then we know they're in the learn phase. They already have a product name, they know what they're looking for, and they're trying to find information. So we can feed them case studies, white papers, blogs, anything else that's really going to help them. If they don't know anything about what they're looking for, we have brand awareness advertisements where we're going to start sending them videos and social retargeting, maybe Instagram ads. We're going to pay for online ads, paid media. Maybe they catch a press release because they read a particular news site. So this is totally top of funnel where we're just trying to get in front of them. Let's jump down to buy. Maybe they know exactly what they're looking for, but they're not quite sure if they should purchase yet. Now we can offer them a usage-based discount. Like perhaps we can give them the opportunity to try something and with an initial purchase, and then upsell them more. So they're just all of these different parts and pieces that you can put in there. Now, the one that I really care about here is advocate. Once they have purchased something, we don't want to just leave them alone. We want to make sure that they stay engaged after the sale, and we want to continue to feed them content to reassure them of their purchase, as well as to help them have things that they can share with other people. So perhaps if they've purchased a product from you, if you sell a software product, you can offer them a certification on your product. Now they feel like they've earned something and they can put it on their LinkedIn. They can share it online that they're certified in your product. That also helps with what we call stickiness, which keeps them coming back to your product because they're now a certified expert in it. Perhaps they are just a regular customer of your company. It's not something that they are going to go out and publicly put on LinkedIn that they've purchased, but you can engage them in speaking on your behalf at a conference. Let's say you have a panel discussion planned and you need a customer to talk about what they've done with your solution. This advocate is someone that you can tap and ask them to join your panel discussion. So all of these pieces of the buyer's journey throughout the full funnel are important, and I'll show you how that turns into an event marketing strategy. So specifically related to one conference, we can also use this full funnel marketing. If you're creating your first ever user conference for your product, for your company, on the discover phase, you may send out a press release to the relevant media in your industry. You may publish promotional videos. We call them sizzle reels. You put those on your website. You start paying for advertisements on the right Facebook, social media channels, etc. You can put them on your organic channels, your own channels. Put them on partners channels. That is the one that people often forget. So instead of having to pay for advertisements, find the people in your industry and ask them to share your content and media so that you're accessing their audience. Next, we want people to learn about the conference. So if you've done the conference before, sharing video testimonials or quotes from last year's attendees, those are really the best way to drive people. If it's a brand new conference, perhaps you want to create some infographics highlighting speakers and features of the conference, or get your influencers or speakers to write some blog posts about why they're coming and why they're speaking and what they're looking forward to, so your attendees can learn why they should come. On the try phase, you could actually offer a pre-event webinar leading up to your physical event. So invite some of your speakers who have workshops to do a 10-minute overview of what they're going to be talking about. So now people can join that webinar, learn a little bit about who's going to be there, and now decide to register for the conference to get much more hands-on information. The buy phase for an event has a lot of triggers. You can use early bird discounts to get people to register early while you raise the price as it gets closer and closer to the event. You can create scarcity with limited seating. There's only 30 spots at this event. Be one of the first before it sells out. You can also do first to register awards. If you're one of the first 10 people to register for our conference, you'll get a meet and greet with the band. So coming up with these reasons to register helps people convert and trigger. Now, once they have purchased their ticket to the conference, they turn them into advocates. Don't just wait until the week before the event to start sending out reminder emails. Actually have them start sharing on social media. You can even offer bring a colleague discounts. If they've registered, you can congratulate them, thank them, and offer them a discount for them to bring a friend. What if you sent them t-shirts as soon as they registered for the conference, and you sent them something that they can start wearing, sharing on social media, and building that advocacy around your event? So this is an example of how you might use full funnel marketing for just your conference. I'll pause and see, are there any questions in the chat?
Ma'am, not yet. We are
Okay.
getting applause in the chat box.
Perfect. So let's go back to what is a lead. So I mentioned before that a lead is contact information, and it's truly someone who is willing to give you their contact information in exchange for something. Honestly, leads are less important than leads that are actually interested in what you're doing. We've all been to a conference where they're giving out pens and notebooks and all of the free things. And if you go to a booth and you get your free pen and walk away, it does not show that you were interested in that company. It shows that you were interested in a free pen. So if they scanned your badge in exchange for that pen, you're kind of a useless lead. When the salesperson calls you to see if you want to buy what they're selling, You don't. So what we care about are creating what we call marketing qualified leads. This is a lead who's expressed an interest in your content, product, or solution. So if you're on a website and you see an article that you really want to access, but you have to put your email address in to get the article, that's a marketing qualified lead because you're interested in that content. So we now know when you've put your email address in that we can market to you because you are a relevant lead. When you're at an event, if you have your booth staff talking to people and they actually want to know more about your product, and now you're exchanging a pen because you've had a great conversation with them, marketing can say, this was a qualified lead. Not only did I give them the pen, but they actually wanted to see a demo of what we offer. Now, a sales qualified lead is the most valuable asset for your company. This is not only a lead that has expressed an interest in your content, but it's a lead who has said they are looking to purchase something like you sell. So being able to actually qualify this lead and understand that they have budget, that they have a timeline, and that they're interested in purchasing something like you sell, and that they want to speak to a sales rep, this is a highly qualified sales lead. So for those of us that are managing events, if we have a badge scanning device at our trade show and we scan a badge, we love the devices that allow us to actually qualify the lead in the device. If we've just scanned it, it's a lead. If we've scanned it and said that they need to be nurtured, that's going to add them as a marketing qualified lead. We could send a sales call after them, but they're probably not ready to purchase. But if they've said they're interested in purchasing your product, you can mark them as a hot lead or sales qualified lead, and now you have a sales team following up with those people. These are important because the intent of your event, as we talked about demand gen, lead gen, and building pipeline and revenue, is we can now track which of these leads are going to turn into opportunities for your company and actually make money, which is the whole reason we're doing this. So as I mentioned, that lead progression. Once we've notified our sales team that this is a sales qualified lead, the sales team is going to go into their CRM, their customer relationship management tool, and identify this lead as having an opportunity. So if our sales team talks to a person and the person says, I have $1 million budget to implement a data center solution, the salesperson can call it $1 million opportunity. Potentially, we can earn that business and get $1 million for our company. Once we have consulted and found the right solution and made the sale, this is called a win. This is revenue. So in our terms of pipeline and revenue, pipeline is the opportunity that's been created. Revenue is when it's actually closed and the money is in our company's bank account. For you to become a strategic marketer, you need to understand your average deal size for your company, and you need to understand your average conversion rate. So if your sales team is telling you they have a 25% conversion rate, that means for every 100 leads you bring them, sales qualified leads, they can convert 25 of those into actual business. If your average deal size is $1,000, then you know that when you bring them 100 qualified leads, they have 25 of them that they can convert at $1,000. You know exactly how much money you are bringing into them. So when you set your goals and objectives by creating these events, you can work backwards and know we spent $25,000 on this event. We need 10 times the return. So I need to bring in $2.5 million. This is going to tell me exactly how many leads I need to be giving to the sales team and how many people I need to be attracting to my booth. So I'm not going to belabor all of the details within building out your return on investment, but I do want you to know what the formula looks like and why this is really important from a marketing standpoint. We do not throw marketing dollars out the window for no reason whatsoever. It is our job, it is our intent to make money from all of our marketing efforts. The chief financial officer only gives money to the chief marketing officer if every time he puts in a coin, more money comes back out. So that's true for all of our events. Even if it's a community event, you know that you are attempting to build community that's going to drive loyalty, that's going to drive more business. So what we need to know is the average conversion of leads to those validated sales accepted leads. So we know that a lead, any lead that we give our sales team is going to convert to a true sales accepted lead at 5%. If we know that our average conversion rate is 25%, and we know that our company's average deal size is $100,000. And going to this event or throwing this event is going to cost us $200,000. We can now put this formula in place. We know that we need 200 leads to convert to 10 validated leads, which is going to convert to 2.5 sales based on our formula. With a $100,000 average deal size, it means that we've made $250,000 from this event. So our ROI is going to be that $50,000 divided by the 200,000 that it cost us times 100. So if we made 50,000, we know that our ROI is 25%. So a lot of people call this backwards. They call it 125% because 100% of the cost of the event was covered. So either way, however your company chooses to use this, you can now calculate exactly how much money you've put into the event, how much you need to bring in order to make it profitable. This is a very, very simplified example, and very few people only want to make $50,000 over what they spent. Most people want to make millions of dollars over what they've spent. So make sure that you work with your leadership team to understand your targets. So how do you even track these leads? Obviously, it's going to be technology. I want to give you a brief history of what's happened in automation in our lives. So back around the year 2000 is when Salesforce automation really began. Salesforce, SAP, Oracle, Microsoft Dynamics. Prior to this, the sales teams all managed their own sales leads in their own personal databases. They were not connected, and when they were, it was very few and far between. So when a salesperson left the company, their leads left the company, all their contacts left. So once we started putting in Salesforce CRMs, we were able to have a centralization of all of our sales data, which allowed the sales leaders to actually see who had the contacts and how they were progressing. Marketing came along and started putting a whole lot of information out on the internet in order to drive leads to the sales team. But now the sales team and the chief financial officer start asking, how do we know if the marketing is even working? We're what we call spraying and praying, just putting all sorts of marketing out there. So around 2005, we invented marketing automation. And these are tools I'm sure you've heard of: Marketo, Eloqua, HubSpot, Pardot. Some of these have now been purchased by other companies. Pardot was purchased by Salesforce, so they're starting to consolidate. But we started to do the centralization of our demand gen activities. So now when we're running a marketing campaign, we can start to track who's clicking on things. And then when those people who are clicking on things get moved over to the sales team, we can see that we brought them in from marketing, passed them over to sales, and now sales has turned them into an actual deal. This becomes really important because you can truly put value on the marketing efforts that you're creating. So now we come to that content that I was talking about. The campaigns we were able to actually manage allowed us to see what happened with the click-through. But now, especially in today's world, we are putting out millions of pieces of content every second. How do you know what's working and what's not? So this came the invention of content automation back around 2014. This allows you to put a piece of content on the internet and track exactly how that piece of content is doing to drive people to your campaign, to drive people to your sales team, to actually convert into deals. So all of these parts and pieces are very important to us as we track what we're doing in events and content and marketing. And marketing automation is taking all of those repositories of where the things are and actually designed for marketing departments to more effectively market on multiple channels. We call this an omni-channel approach. So it's on social media, it's on email, it's on websites, it's now WhatsApp. It's all of these parts and pieces and tools that we can put in one place, create campaigns to run everywhere, and track the validity and the success of those campaigns. So this sounds easy, right? Here are your choices. We used to call this the MarTech 5000 back in April 2019. It is now today in 2024 over 11,000 different pieces of technology you can choose from to track your marketing automation, social media automation, sales automation, data visualization, social advertising. So if any of you are entrepreneurs and you are building your own tech tool, notice that there's a lot of noise in the marketplace, and it's going to be your job to rise above the noise and try to get your particular tool in front of the people who need it. So taking all of these ideas I'm giving you in marketing and how to market and trying to make these things make sense to people is your job. So I don't want to scare you. Let's just talk about events for a second. There's only a few event tools out there, right? This was 4 years ago. It has since expanded drastically, but it's also starting to contract in the sense that some of those other marketing technology tools are acquiring these and turning them into their suite of products. But there are a lot of tech tools that solve a lot of individual problems. Now we have to go pick the tools that we need for our particular company in order to make marketing work for us. So this is an example of how one particular company might pick some of these tools and start to use them in their marketing automation. So what they've called on this slide, attract, capture, nurture, convert, and expand, aligns to our discover, learn, try, buy, and advocate. So from an attract perspective, think big. This is Google, this is Facebook. These are all of those things that are top of funnel ways people can discover you and your content. Now, to capture them, we want them to either come to us through our content marketing, or we can look for them in something like Zoom Info or some of those other tools that allow us to get their contact information. To nurture them, maybe we want to put them in events and virtual programs. Maybe we want to invite them to webinars. To convert them, we're going to start doing our email marketing. We're going to really start sending them offers and opportunities to convert. Once they've purchased, they are now in our sales systems. They are in our software purchasing systems like Shopify. So this is just an example of how you might put an entire tech stack together for marketing to your customers. So there was one little piece that I mentioned in there about email. Now that we've got them on our email list, we're going to nurture them. So I wanted to share a little bit about what a drip campaign is, or a nurture campaign. When you are getting your customers warmed up for your sales team, you can send them an entire automated set of campaigns that is behavioral based. So my top left here, the email campaign automation, this is just a very simple example of, I send them an email, and the recipient can either open the email or ignore it. Let's say they ignore the email, then they get sent another email, and then they don't do anything again. They ignore it again. Now our tool can mark them as not interested, and we stop sending them things. Or let's say they open it, but they haven't clicked through anything. They read it. Now they can continue to be sent emails, and we'll take them down a new path. On the other hand, let's say that we've sent our campaign and the recipient opens the email. Now, again, we have that opened but not clicked. We can continue to send them some things. So the CRM will automatically tag them as interested, but we won't do anything more than continue to send them emails. Let's say they received the email and they opened it and they clicked your link. Now we know that they're interested. Now we can start putting them down a new path and follow up with them, send a salesperson after them, and truly try to nurture them into a purchase. From a content perspective, the one down below, this is an opportunity to send them more content than just an email. So if we send them an email, they open it, we can then send them an opportunity to download an ebook. Now, if they open the ebook, we can send them either an opportunity to book a demo, we can send them a video overview. There's endless possibilities. On the top right, you'll see a very complex drip campaign. So when you can send them all of these different parts, pieces, and steps, and you know true buyer behavior, all of the stuff is being automated now. And of course, with the injection of AI, it can create entire campaign solutions for you to determine where the next path should be, whether somebody opens it within a certain amount of time. Let's say they open the email and then they come back to it 3 days later, it can trigger an entire new campaign for them. And of course, if you're using the Google suite, then they've opened the email. Google knows this. You can now use paid targeted Google ads to send them entire new campaigns to serve up search for them when they are using Google to search for something else. You can now attach retargeting ads to any of the social media that they're doing. So the opportunities exist endlessly for you to continue to market to your customers. So just very simple, my sample automation where somebody signs up for a class for me. So if I'm teaching this modern marketing for event professionals course, they can go to my website, they could sign up for information. Then perhaps I'm going to send them a 5-day modern marketing email course which means that I've scheduled out 1 email per day with a little bit about marketing each day. And on the 5th day, I invite them to sign up for a webinar. And if they take the webinar, then I can send them a thank you link and I can send them the call to action. So now they can download things, they can get a discount on another course, they can sign up for my community. If they sign up for the webinar but don't show up for it, I can send them a sorry we missed you and then a link to the replay. If they then watch the replay, again, I put them in that funnel of webinar completion, thank you, sign up, buy these things. If they never watch it, then I can either let them go or I can start to send them opportunities to join another one. So now that you kind of have a view of the buyer's journey, as well as the funnel, as well as some of the content and how you should align it, I want to get a little deeper into aligning your content marketing to the funnel. So as you know, from the discover phase, we know that our prospects are seeking educational information. They're trying to grow their knowledge of our solution just broadly across the board. So the type of content we can create for them at this level are tip sheets, e-newsletters, checklists, infographics, even blog posts. They're out there Googling, they're checking, they're looking for things. So anything that's going to be very light and up above thought leadership type of things that allows them to just start learning, that's where we want to play. Now in this learn and try phase, these people have decided that they have a problem and that you might have a solution for them. So they're looking for a demonstration of your expertise. They are comparing you to your competitors at this point. This is where you can bring them in with webinars, case studies that are of your successful clients, videos, buyer's guides that actually compare you to your competitors so they can see that. Now, when you know that they're ready to purchase, they are in the buy phase, they want reinforcement and validation that they're about to make the right choice. So you can offer them this free trial. You can get them on the phone and do a demo, make sure that they're saying yes throughout your demo. You can give them a free consultation so that you can take them through what's going to happen once they purchase. Or it may be as simple as this is the part where you give them the estimate and they can just choose, do I want it or not? Now that they've purchased, you want to turn them into advocates. So the content you're creating here are continuing education. Free trainings, how to go deeper, free webinars, inviting them to speak on your webinar or your training, best practices from your other users, telling them what they've done with the product and how they're using it. And then creating customer highlight stories, showcasing how well your product works for all of the people in your persona. So this is how you're going to continue to engage them. Now, in marketing terminology, I just want to point out these funnel phrases that we use. So again, aligning it to the funnel, the discover phrase is called top of funnel, and sometimes we call it tofu. The learn and try phase is the middle of the funnel, and you may see it called mofu. And then the bottom of the funnel is the buy phase that you may see called bofu. So if you're doing any research on marketing online and you see these abbreviations, tofu, mofu, or bofu, you understand where in the funnel they are discussing. So I grabbed this image from HubSpot a few years ago and I found it amusing because it is about content. So when I talk about leads and I talk about content, you have a choice as to whether or not to gate your content, which means require someone to give you their contact information. So what HubSpot put together was this little decision chart on should you let your content be free and open to the public, or should you try to capture contact information and really pull people in? Your first question to ask is your content any good? Because if your content's not very good, stop everything and go back and figure out what the problem is. Is it poorly designed? Is it not substantial, useful, good enough? Or is it a copy of everyone else's? If you've just used ChatGPT and AI to create your content and it looks just like everyone else's, where you could change your logo out for someone else's, that's not good content. It's not a matter of gating or not gating, just don't use it. So now let's decide that we've created our content and it is heavily sales focused. If your content creates all sales messages, then you probably don't want to gate it because you're asking people for their contact information and they know they're immediately going to be slapped with outreach. There's a totally different way that you can do that, which is to ask them, Are you ready to talk to a sales rep? In which case they will happily give you their contact information. But if it is all self-promotional content, back it up a little bit, try to make it a little bit more educational, and now you can go down the other path. If it's great content, it's educational, and people truly will get value from it, and it will show that they're interested in your product because it's not just generically educational, then you can start to decide if you want to gate it and let people give you their information, you share the content, and now you form a relationship. But how does any of that relate to events? Well, this is the important part for us. We call it the event marketing blueprint. We want to align our events to the marketing funnel. So I talked before about those proprietary branded events, the third-party shows and events, and then the ancillary programs. These matter to us when we're building out our year-long annual event portfolio. You're generally, if you have a company or working for a company, you're not just doing one event a year. You're trying to engage people at all levels of the funnel. At the top of funnel phase, this is where we're starting to look for our people who are exploring solutions. This is when you're going to go to those third-party industry trade shows. If you have a booth, you are hopefully catching new eyeballs, new logos, new people that are walking the trade show floor. They're exploring, trying to even find out what exists in the world. So this is where you want to make sure your marketing message at your booth is going to be top of funnel enough to allow people to discover you. Now, your learn phase. This is generally for people who've at least heard of your company. They've at least heard of your solution, and they at least know a little bit about what your solution offers them, so they know they have a problem. These we can create road shows. This is where we're going to go to different cities. We're going to invite people to our branded proprietary event. They know they're coming to hear about us. They know they're coming to learn more about what we do. That doesn't mean we need to be extra salesy, but it does mean that it's okay to create content around us because they know us and they think well of us. Now, the next one is that try phase. We know that at this phase, customers and prospects are looking to do business. They're looking to give their money to someone who solves their problem. That someone could be us. Now we can create our own proprietary conference. They may already be customers in one area of our business, and we have the opportunity to upsell them. They may be almost ready to purchase, and they want to come do a hands-on workshop about our product, or they want to meet with salespeople or other customers. They want to hear from other customers how successful they've been with our product and our solutions. So this is where we can start doing our proprietary conferences. And it doesn't have to be a major conference. It could even be field events. It could be, again, this roadshow works, but they're a little bit more conference-y in nature, a little larger. Usually we can do that. Or perhaps we're doing a user conference and we're inviting prospects to it. Now at the buy phase, this is where we have people who are really ready to buy, and the opportunity to give them some hands-on workshops might be great. So again, we can take workshops into the field, we can add those workshops into our proprietary conference, or we can offer workshops at a third-party industry event. So there's opportunities to put these things in different places as you're building out your portfolio. Now for the people who've already purchased from us, they are definitely going to come to our proprietary conference. They may speak at it. They're definitely going to come to the dinner that we're planning next to the third-party event. They may come to the roadshow because it happens to be in their city, but what they really want is a user group. They want to hang out with the other people that are using our product, and we can help create those through meetups, through dinners, through hospitality events, all the time inviting the people who are already our customers and sending their account executives there to make sure that they're happy and having a good time and paying for their dinner. Now the advocate part. We don't just want customers. We want customers that will tell other people that they're customers. So this is where we can start creating an influencer program. And that does not mean hiring Kim Kardashian to tweet about what we do. That means finding the right people in our industry that care about what we do and who are influential in our industry. These are sometimes called micro influencers. It could be someone with a following as small as 5,000 people on LinkedIn, but those 5,000 people are listening to that person. So we can create an influencer program that gives them gifts, that invites them to dinners, that gives them VIP opportunities at our third-party event, that gives them a meet and greet with our CEO or with the band at our concerts. So we can create this program that makes them, we call it amplify their eminence. It makes them feel good, and it makes them talk even more highly about us in the market. So when I mentioned a campaign is a set of activities and tactics that takes people across an entire set of opportunities to interact with us. So let's say that I have a new hotel that I'm building, and I would like to get my new hotel in front of business buyers, event professionals, to make sure they know my hotel is perfect for their events. So an entire campaign around my new hotel might be me putting an ad in Smart Meetings magazine, me having a video feature, a tour of my hotel on BizBash, me creating targeted Facebook ads around event professionals, me hosting a booth in a set of one-on-one meetings at IMEX, and me creating a fam trip to invite people to my hotel. So all of these opportunities are within the event industry. Smart Meetings is a magazine about venues and events that is sent to hundreds of thousands of event professionals online and physically. BizBash is an extremely well-known media platform for event professionals. So having a video feature there, I know that people who look at BizBash look for that type of interactive engagement with a video. Facebook, I know that my target audience between, let's say, 28 years old and 45 years old are on Facebook still, so I can target ads to them. Maybe I can send them some Instagram ads. Probably not doing LinkedIn at this point. I want to catch them as though they were consumers because I'm talking about a hotel, but I know that they are professionals who care about what I'm sending them. IMEX is a huge industry event that's offered in Frankfurt and Las Vegas every year, where it brings together hosted buyers and suppliers. So if I could be a supplier there and be in front of over 150,000 people by having this booth, and by having hosted buyers means that they're required to have one-on-one meetings with me, now I know that I can have real conversations about my new hotel. A FAM trip is short for familiarization. And a lot of hotels will create a familiarization trip to bring prospects in to experience the food, the hospitality, the service, the rooms, and see the ballrooms. So creating a FAM trip, paying for them to come in, experience my property, and treating them really nicely is a great way for them to try the property. So that's an entire campaign that I might create around my hotel that hits advertising, in-person, events, video content, and digital content. Now, let's say within just one of these, again, all the principles that we just went through for the funnel all apply if you just take one piece of this campaign too. This is very meta. It keeps going down and down and down. So let's just look at that booth at IMEX. There's 100,000 people at this industry event. Again, I'm going to go through the entire funnel with what I'm doing at just this one event. So discover. I'm going to use my email list to share that I'm going to go to IMEX. So my people are on my email list. They have no idea that they're going to IMEX or that I'm going to IMEX, but I can hit them with an email that's going to let them discover that there's an opportunity for them to be a hosted buyer, be flown to this event, and have a meeting with me and lots of other folks and enjoy the program. Now, in the learn phase, I can publish an article in Corporate Event News explaining that we're going to IMEX, and here's what we're going to be showcasing, and here's how you can book a meeting with us when you go. In the try phase, let's say I'm this new hotel, right? So perhaps my booth is built out to have one of those brand new heavenly mattresses that you would experience at my hotel. So I do my entire booth in a spa theme. I let people come hang out on the bed in the booth. That might be a little weird, but just go with me. We have this very experiential activation that is, again, this is the try phase of getting people to come in and experience my hospitality at my hotel. Now in the buy phase, those one-on-ones that I know are going to happen at IMEX, this is where I can tell my prospects, if you bring an RFP, a request for proposal for an event that you're doing, you could get a free reception for your group for up to 200 people if you book with my hotel. So now I'm giving them some sort of value, some sort of trigger that once they've had a meeting with me, they could actually sign on the dotted line on the spot, or maybe I give them a deadline of within 48 hours that they can go talk to their management team and come back. And then I'm giving them a reason to purchase my product over anybody else's. So taking that entire buyer's journey that we learned on a theoretical level, putting it into play on a campaign level, and then putting it into play at an event level, hopefully gives you a little bit of clarity in how all of this works. So just to put some names to the things that we talked about today, performance marketing is all of these things that are actually trackable by behavior, clicking through the activities. So performance marketing is the terminology around anything that's in digital. Demand gen, we talked about that high level. I'm creating and driving demand for my solution or my product. Lead gen is actually capturing that contact information that I'm going to turn into business. The marketing funnel and the buyer's journey, you saw the generic marketing funnel that exists alongside our buyer's journey of how we're pulling the buyer through the process with us. The cohort is how we are segmenting the people that we're targeting. The persona or avatar is the person that we want to sell to. The campaigns are how we are creating all of these tactics in order to get leads. The leads we want to progress into sales accepted leads so that the sales team knows they can make business out of it. And we talked a little bit about calculating event ROI as well. I did give you a brief overview of marketing automation and content management and how some of those things work. And I threw out some names around multi-channel and omni-channel. We didn't go into a lot of the other stuff, but you have hit a lot today around marketing and events. And now that you know these things, you can leverage the marketing persona to design your event experience for your target customer. You can advise your marketing and content teams on how you can use third-party events to acquire leads. You can balance your event portfolio for acquisition and development customers because now you know what types of events to create based on where they are in your funnel. You can also align your marketing content to your event portfolio based on the funnel because now you know what type of content to create at each phase of the funnel. And of course, you now know exactly how you need to set measurable goals for your event so that you can measure ROI. You're not just creating a booth at an event or a conference for people to come to. You know how many people you need to bring because you know how many leads it takes in order for the sales team to convert them in order to make back your money and hopefully earn a profit for your company. So that's all for this part of the presentation. I want to pause here and make sure that we don't have any questions or if I should go a different direction at this point.
Yes, ma'am. We have few questions with us, and there are a couple of questions we have here. Are you ready, ma'am?
I'm ready.
Okay. So, ma'am, first question is that like he's an Indian and he want to like start his own startup in foreign
Okay.
country or in US. So, what's the procedure for that?
For starting a company. So are we, I am not a business startup executive, so I'm not sure that I have all of the right ways to do that, but are we talking legal entity for starting a company or how to break into the market?
Okay, ma'am, that question has not been discussed.
Yeah.
If it is there, then definitely.
So let me take it as the part of the expertise of that I would know, because I can't really tell you how to start from a foreign country and manage that. But if you're trying to create a company that you want to break into the US market and you want to get awareness, let's talk about that funnel. So I don't know what your product is, but let's say it's a tech product that's going to help marketers. And you know that you've created an app that people need in their events. Let's just say that, for example. So in order to get that in front of an audience, you're going to need to start with the discover phase. How do you make sure people know your product is available to them and can solve their product or their problem? My first step for you would be to start having conversations with people in your target market. So I would reach out on LinkedIn. I would build out that persona. Remember that ideal person that you want to sell to? Build that out for who you're trying to attract. So let's say it is an app for an event for networking. Maybe you want to sell that to event directors who run a conference because they're the ones who care about getting their attendees to connect. Yes. So build out that avatar. This is who I want to sell to. Now reach out on LinkedIn and try to get 5 of those people to talk to you so that you can give them a demo and explain what it does. Get their feedback. You're asking them for information at this point because you're breaking into the market and you have an unproven product. We don't know if it works here. We don't know if people are going to like it yet. It's brand new. But people in our industry are so friendly and so willing to give you advice. Just create your own sounding board of some people. Tell them, here's the old adage, ask for money, you'll get advice. Ask for advice, you'll get money. So you want to ask for advice to start out. So
Okay.
people for their time, share what you're doing, and take their feedback. Now you might need to change your product. You might need to adjust it for your target market, or you might learn from this listening tour that it's not the event director you need to sell to. You might learn that you actually need to sell to the CMO or the marketing director, and that will change your persona. So this is going to help you start breaking into the market. So now that you've had some of these conversations with people about what the product is and if it's working, you can start creating a plan to go after some of the folks you talked to originally or new event directors and suggest that they use your tool for free at their event to test it out. By giving them this piece of value in exchange for them giving you a testimonial to show that it works at their event, now you're starting to build your marketing plan. So not only do you have a proven concept that works at an event, you have a really great testimonial of where it was used. Now you can start building out more of your marketing plan and aligning it to the funnel.
Yeah. Thank you, Liz, ma'am. You have nicely explained, though you're not from this core background, but you have nicely explained. Hope that will helpful for that concerned person. Another question he have shooted: how strong is an marketing automation, and is there any free software for this marketing automation?
Ask me that question again.
Yeah. How strong is an marketing automation?
Ah,
And is there any free software for marketing automation?
yes. Okay. So marketing automation, there, you saw my slide. There are 11,000 tools that you can choose from. Some of them are free, some of them cost money. But I, for example, use a website tool called Wix, W-I-X, and it's not free, but it's very inexpensive, maybe $200 a year. And it
Right.
comes with marketing automation built in it. So if someone comes to my website and subscribes to my newsletter, I can automate within there to send them a thank you email. I can also automate 2 days later to send them a question. Why did you sign up for my newsletter? And ask them to respond. 6 days later, I have an automation in there to send them a, I hope you're still enjoying my content. So it doesn't take a lot of money to get in there and create just email automations that can drive people down a path.
So I think that's a really interesting that how the automation can solve a problem. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And ma'am, we have one more question. Like I think you have given some numericals in the slide. So there was a question that how to calculate the market rate
The
based on,
market.
yeah, or the valuation of a company. I
Oh.
think.
um, yeah, again, I'm not a startup or finance expert on that one. So I would say look up the term EBITDA, earnings before interest, depreciation, and assets, I believe is what it is, EBITDA. And that is the calculation that you're going to need in order to determine the valuation of your company. So if your EBITDA is a certain percentage or a certain dollar amount, then that times 2.5 is what your company is worth to try to sell. So my recommendation is to look that one up online.
Right. All right. And last question as of now we got is, ma'am, can you be my mentor?
Can I be a what?
Mentor, mentor of my startup, I think.
Oh, yeah, mentor. I would absolutely love to do that.
All right. So that's all for today, ma'am. And once again, I really enjoyed the complete session. I was listening, and most of we have created a voting system based on our watchers. 50% are the entrepreneurs, and 50% they're non-entrepreneurs, and they're still watching us this live. and hopefully, future they are also going to be an entrepreneur soon.
I love that so much. Please do reach out to me on LinkedIn. My name is Liz Lathan, and you can find me on there. I would love to connect with you. I'm very excited for everything that you're building, and I appreciate you having me on today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. And ma'am, how? Please tell us about your feedback that when we have invited you and you just came up with our company. So, how was your impact about that?
Oh, I very much appreciated being asked, and I think that everything worked well, except for the time zone. Just trying to figure out the calendar invite I got was not for
That
the
was
time I was
great.
joining, so that was it. But we figured it out. I'm so glad I made it.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Namaste from India.
Thank you.
Yes, and do visit India and let us know, ma'am. We'll
Yes,
definitely make.
please. I'm
Yes,
so excited.
yes, ma'am. All right. So thank you, everyone. I think feedback link will be shared in the chat box. So do follow the link and share your feedback with us. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, Muskan.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bhubanesh, thank you.